Supreme Court on Friday came down heavily on suspended Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson Nupur Sharma for her derogatory remarks against Prophet Muhammad on a TV debate on the Gyanvapi Mosque issue on May 27. Issue had sparked a massive row reporting violent clashes from parts of the country. The bench of Justices Surya Kant and J.B. Pardiwala made the remarks during the former Sharma's plea to move all the FIRs registered against her over the matter to Delhi. Her plea was dismissed by the court. Holding the suspended BJP leader responsible for the massive All India protest, the Supreme Court said she and her loose tongue has set the entire country on fire. The apex court further noted that her outburst was responsible for the unfortunate incident in Udaipur. The bench was also critical of the Delhi police response in the matter and asked, what has Delhi police done? When you get an FIR registered against XYZ, he is arrested immediately, and in Nupur Sharma case, nobody has dared to touch her. Let me mention here that even weeks after Sharma's statement on national television and even after several FIRs have been filed against her, Amit Shah's police, so prompt in arresting and harassing Mohammad Zubair, a founder of fact-checker platform All News, are missing in action as far as Sharma is concerned. The audacity of those in power to extend protection to their own seemingly has now no limits. It is hardly a secret that Mohammad Zubair was arrested and subjected to multiple acts of harassment by the Delhi police, functioning under the Home Ministry because he had shared the clip of Sharma's comments on TV, a perfectly legal and logical step by a fact-checker committed to expose the truth and hate mongering. Sharma's petition was filed under the name N.V. Sharma, and senior advocate Mahinder Singh, who was representing her, said the petition was filed because there was threat to her life. At this, Justice Surya Kant said she has threat or she has become a security threat. Here the court clearly said that the lady has ignited emotions across the country. She is single-handedly responsible for what is happening in the country. When Nupur Sharma's counsel said that Nupur's comments on Islam and the Prophet was only in response to a fellow panelist and anchor Navika Kumar, the Supreme Court said that there should have been a case against the debate host as well. If there is a misuse of the debate, the first thing she should have done was to file an FIR against the anchor. Also, the court raised a question on the TV channel on choosing a subjudiced topic. Eventually, the bench declined to provide any relief to Sharma. Justice Surya Kant told her counsel, when the conscience of the court is not satisfied, we must mold the law accordingly. On a request by Singh, the bench allowed the petition to be withdrawn with liberty to avail alternate remedies. Well, this is what happened in the courtroom on Friday. But you tell me, in this case here, Nupur Sharma was blamed for the riots and clashes that occurred after the remark because we saw it on the TV debate, we saw her saying those words, so we know here one person led to the whole chaos. But this is not the first time India witnessed violence. Just look at these recent communal clashes in India. To name a few, Bajrang Dal member killing violence, Shivamgaon violence, Delhi's Jahangirpuri violence and Hanuman Jayanti, Kanpur violence and many more, one led to another. The recent one is going on in Udaipur, Rajasthan. So my point here is there is not always a single person who is responsible for violence. Sometimes not just the words but also the actions of those in power that have created an environment of hate and suspicion between communities in a diabolical effort of polarizing minds and hearts. Sometimes a movie made for entertainment purpose or based on history, the title, for example, Padmavat, gives a kick to a group of people, or to be specific, a religious group that claim to be deeply rooted by their religious beliefs and say that they respect and follow the path of religion. And so they say that they are hurt by what is said or shown in the movie. And then the most predictable thing starts. First, debates on television channels, anchors shouting, panelists shouting, dharm gurus blaming each other, shouting during the show, making derogatory comments, then one issue leads another. That is protest on streets, sometimes which turns violent. My question here is again, what does religion teach us? And I am talking collectively for all religions. Because according to me, like what we have been taught during our value education classes in school, religion teaches you a set of practices to live by, such as being kind to others, praying, leading a peaceful life, respecting and forgiving. Something that all religions have in common is that they are based on faith, which is being confidently sure about something even if you cannot see it. There is no concrete proof that one particular religion is correct, so people have to turn to faith in order to practice their religion. Name me a single religion that promotes or asks you to be violent, go out and behead people, throw stones or vandalize public property. Just name one. But in reality, this is what we have been witnessing in India after a community's religions, sentiments are hurt. What is also important is, who are these people? I am talking about the protesters, stone pelters, vandalizers. Who are these people? Who are the India's very own sleeper cells, who otherwise are not doing anything with their life or to spread peace in society or any act of humanity. But suddenly, any religious issue occurs and they are active in groups. We can see them on streets, pelting stones and putting public properties on fire. I mean, how? How is any problem solved with these violent activities? For example, when we are hurt by someone in a family, we either try to solve it in person or give it some time. But at least don't go out of the house and start putting neighbor's house on fire and start fighting with them. That's funny, right? Then why, when it comes to our country, why we cannot treat it like a house and the people of the nation as our family members? Why to divide by religion when you can unite in the name of humanity? Well, I would also like to mention the role of media here. It does play as a catalyst in such serious issues. In Nupur Sharma's issue, the Supreme Court criticized English TV news channel Times Now for its debate anchor by the channel's editor-in-chief Navika Kumar, the long-run Gyanvapi mosque matter, which is itself a sensitive religious issue, and yet the channel chose to run a debate on it. The incident that caused unnecessary embarrassment to the country could have been avoided if some of the TV outlets had been mindful of the nation's constitutional commitment to secularism, as well as the journalists' ethics and guidelines that the Press Council of India has issued to handle a volatile situation. And not just Times Now, there are many such news channels that bluntly violate the PCI's guidelines, and the nation knows who they are. Unfortunately, this is a nightmare that India has to deal with, that India has to awaken from by banishing the darkness that enables its creation. In this, the courts have an important role to play, and sometimes, though too late, rarely, their incisive comments help clear the way, such as those made in the case of Nupur Sharma.